Welcome to another Ben's Day with Batgirl and Ben, and here is Ben Lesnick. How you doing, Ben?
Hello, not too bad.
Not too bad. So, what's it like being there with I'm sure you have a crew, but you're missing some of your key people.
Oh, it's super quiet right now. We're just not having Jared. We'll lower everything a couple decibels. But no, with Jared and Tom out, it's been very quiet these past 2 weeks.
No Nerf gun battles or anything like that going on?
No, it's all. Everybody's pretty tired after Gamescom, and I think we're looking forward to this 3-day weekend.
Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. Do you see this one thing over here? That's one question.
I can, yes.
So I'm like, yeah, let's see how we could do. So, what's the schedule for the 890 jump? That's what I got out of that.
I don't have any schedules I can give out. I would love to, but I can't.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of fun things going on in the verse, especially since 2.5 came out, and still a little bit of instability there, but I guess it had to be pushed out to everybody to find more bugs. Is that is that about the truth?
Yeah, I mean that's why we can. I mean it's still alpha no matter what service we're putting it on. We were happy enough with the stability that we could go wider and get more feedback, but there will always be bugs to fight.
So these are going to be some questions about where you see the game going and not about what the schedule is. Okay, so they're like theory questions.
I can talk about those, but I will stress that they would be my opinions rather than the company's.
And a lot of times, opinion that you have sometimes it makes it into the game. So
Sometimes.
So let's look at gameplay first. And we're not talking about gameplay down the line when everything is live. We're talking about gameplay now. Right now, there's not a lot to do in the verse, and we're about ready to have a lot more to do in the verse when 3.0 comes out sometime at the end of the year, the turn of the year, whatever that will be. Do you foresee having a kill board or giving credit for killing pirates or vice versa, giving credit for killing security forces, whether you be outlaw?
Yeah.
Because it's...
that would tie into the bounty hunting stuff.
So you see that as being a dynamic that would be built in?
Yeah, I don't know specifically when bounty hunting will go online, but it's definitely coming. But even then, I don't think that's a big change in gameplay. What we really need to do is get stuff like cargo and cargo.
Yeah.
Cargo exploration, all that. That's going to be the big ticket items.
So when you say exploration in 3.0, what types of exploration do you foresee happening?
Yeah, I gotta say I can't speak to 3.0. It's I can talk about exploration someday, but it's not. 3.0 has a feature set already, and it seems like it would be wrong if I were speculating.
Okay. I have a question from Brandon Royce who wants to know, how does CIG intend to handle people who have upgraded their Aurora to a Hull C or larger ship with that as their only one, considering they only start with 1,000 UEC?
Like some sort of program to subsidize people who make a wrong ship choice. I mean,
well, what they
don't
did,
do that.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're looking at. It's like, here we are, we bought a Hull C, and we know it's going to cost a lot of money to fill that Hull C to actually get cargo on it to move it somewhere else. So
I mean, I think there's never going to be a point where it's like, oh, the game doesn't work for you, everything's wrong. But if you choose to start with a Hull C at 1,000 credits, you're going to have to work your way up with small runs that don't fill up the whole ship.
Or make use of the CIG store and buy some UEC.
Or, well, I don't want to.
I know you don't want to promote that. I know you don't. I mean, this is where I could come in and say things that you don't believe in.
Yes, it's not so much fun if people are just buying their credits. No, there will be a game experience for any of our ships at the start. It won't be the ultimate experience. Everything, we're not going to go back and say, oh, you bought this ship, so you get to jump ahead in the game. Everybody still has to start at the beginning.
So would they possibly be able to be Would they possibly be given an option to turn off the upgrade until they had enough money to actually fill the hull C and then upgrade it?
No, once your ship's upgraded, it's upgraded. You can make those choices for yourselves.
Okay.
I would say, it should not be difficult in the finished game to find some way to make credits to, in fact, one of the things we're looking at just now with the Argo is, hey, maybe if you don't have credits at the start of the game, you fly these like stevedore type runs, loading ships to get them. So, I don't see a benefit to us planning to make the game easier for people.
And that I appreciate. That I appreciate. And my advice to everybody would be definitely get a starter ship. Sorry, guys, my cat's trying to take over the chair.
It's going to be a meme.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a meme of the cat throwing me off the chair. But my advice to everybody is to have at least one starter ship, because it'll get you into the universe and give you a idea of what types of missions there are when you could use a ship that has a much lower cost. So your risk versus reward might be huge with a more expensive ship with a lot of capacity, but you might be more survivable with a lower price ship early in the game.
And I'll say that, in Privateer, if you were to start with the other ships, you would be totally boned because there's no weapons, no upgrades, no shields, etc., etc. Star Citizen is different. All of our ships come with basic equipment, so you'll always be able to fly them.
Okay.
We don't, at this point anyway, we don't sell any stripped down discount ships.
Okay. I have a question from Dire Wolf, and he wants to know, as a Starfarer G owner, will the final version of the current ship be visually different inside than a regular Starfarer? I really want bunk beds and more military theme for the ship instead of the color change and minor differences on the outside.
It's definitely a wish list item. When we have time to do it, we'd like to.
Okay. And question from, let's see, this is from Michael Brenton. With the hoplite on our minds, will we see a drop ship with a trapdoor descender exit? Like, did you ever see the movie Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Will there be a ship that has the drop door descender exit like that?
I don't think we have any in the works right now. It's all Starship Troopers ramp at the moment.
Okay. Can we see a power armor sail with the hoplite sail?
Not with the hoplite sail, but because the hoplite's going to be flight ready. You will see power armor down the line. We've talked about that before, the Titan suits and so on.
Okay. There was a gentleman that also sent in a question. There is kind of a difference to the rear ramp. Oh, that's pretty cool. There's a difference to the rear ramp of the Vanguard at this particular point. Did it get a change, or is that just for the hoplite?
It's just for the hoplite.
So we won't see something similar happening to the rest of the Vanguard line?
No, it'll be a distinct variant.
But we do have some kind of rework coming from the Vanguard at some point, right?
You can pretty much guarantee that any ship will get additional looks at some point.
Okay. There's been a lot of, I'm an avid watcher of one Scott Manley. He was challenging the size of the planets. Do you know roughly the size of the planets that were in the 3.0 demo?
I don't. That's math, and it's well beyond
math.
I know the planets have gotten significantly larger. I think in the first iteration they were like Twitter sized, and now they're standard planet size. But I don't know the details.
So we could expect a planet to be 10 to 15 to 20,000 kilometers across?
I will leave it to the guys doing that work.
Okay. It was just one of the things that I caught on the outside. I got a couple of questions for that. This is from, wow, where are those glasses of mine? I hate being old. So, will we have loadout presets in the foreseeable future to store different configurations for our ships? I guess that's item 3.0.
Probably more of a customization thing, and I think you see a lot more of those closer to launch because there's so much QA required with every possible combination. Definitely down the line.
What I'm hoping for is just a button that says, weapons not attached to other ships. Free weapons, so you don't have to go through like a million weapons if you have like 30 ships. Um, in I don't know what Denji. Oh, in the Gamescom presentation, we saw a really long FPS firefight until the freelancer came and ended it with a few devastating shots. How do you intend to prevent people with bigger spaceships from crashing ground fights? I think that's all purpose.
It is on purpose. Yeah, there was not an accident that the freelancer came in and ended the fight. No, we want that whole like ground to space, ground to air warfare.
And because I just probably changed the answer to that question, what's your idea about people just crashing into other people's fight?
I guess it depends. I mean, literally, like crashing a ship into the fight to blow them up, or
well, no. In other words, they're talking about intervening, crashing the party.
No, I'm in favor of it. We want to set the stage and let the players, have emergent gameplay, have their own adventures. So I think that's another one where we don't want to stop people from using spaceships to kill each other because that's a big part of the game.
Yeah, I think there's still that balancing that people are looking for between those that don't like PvP and those that do like PvP, like where the balance is. And is that something that really you just have to wait for the game to go live to balance?
Not go live, but it's something that will take shape slowly over time. And stuff like fighting from a spaceship to ground, there's all sorts of balance that goes into that. How easy is it to target an individual person from a spaceship? Not necessarily that easy. So you balance it other ways, and rather than just saying, okay, no spaceships can fire guns at the ground. That's not so much fun.
Yeah, and I can see where it would be helpful in certain situations if you were going into a battle where you were definitely outmatched. You could potentially use that as an option to even the odds.
Yeah, everybody wants that. Oh, fast movers inbound. We're calling for air support type situation, and
Danger
I think ideally in the future world, I mean, every character has a spaceship, so everybody can call their buddies to bring in their ships, and it just gets to be a bigger battle, hopefully. But let's see how players actually, because this is one thing that we'll show a demo and we'll have all sorts of very specific concerns. What if this happens? What if that happens? I almost put a metaphor there, but let's see how it actually happens before we fix the problem. If we go live with 3.0 and it turns out that people were just ruining the game by bringing starfarers into battles, then we'll look at that and see how do we balance that. But until it happens, let's try to have it be as cool as it can be.
I agree with you. And I mean, if you think about it, there are some ships that are made to crash the party, like the Hoplite and the previously released, and also the Redeemer, right? That's why they were made, to crash the party. So I like that. I think and I'm just going to go back. I think this person is worrying about their fight versus somebody else's fight, who's going to crash their party, right? And I can see why they're worried about that. Something big coming across your screen?
No, I just got an email. It's an R went on it, so I had to check.
ADD, right? Well, now I lost my way. So, with the advent of the Reliant Core, it seems to have changed a little bit of the game and being a more dedicated ship. It is capable of fighting, but it's not capable of those tight space maneuvers through places like the asteroid field in Yela. So these very distinct mission-capable ships that are made for like cargo and salvage, how do you see them changing the alpha? I know how they're going to change the game, but the alpha, do you expect more people to come in? Like, what are your thoughts?
I mean, my thought is that we'll want to have cargo as quick as we can so that there's something more useful to do with some stuff. Like I was looking at the sales figures for the Argo, and it's insane. Why is everyone buying an Argo? There's nothing to do with it right now. But there will be a lot to do with it in the not too distant future.
It's called LTI fodder.
I thought about that, but it's It's doing so much better than any other ship in the same situation.
Really,
People are
it
just
didn't.
really into the Argo.
Archimedes?
What's that?
It's selling more than the Archimedes and the Merlin.
Yeah, it's just done so well. It's interesting.
It's a cute ship. I like the fact it has a 4-point shield system. I like the fact that you can buy the personnel carrier and use it as a drop ship, kind of, sort of. Maybe drop it into the back of, behind a Starfarer, and your Marines go out and take it all over. Who knows?
Yeah.
I like the ship. Don't talk people out of buying it. Argo, go out and buy your Argos.
I think everyone should buy an Argo. I just don't know why.
That's bad. That's bad.
And I keep looking through the community videos, like, are people like stuffing as many Argos as they can into a hole? Or people like doing Argo Olympics? And no, it's just showing off how cool the Argo is in their videos. And so,
I was kind of hoping we could take it out for a race and have like an Argo racing league.
Well, we're getting racing into Crusader soon, so.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. So you got 2.5 out, so 2.6 by CitizenCon, maybe?
I know better than to promise anything like that. But
Chris would promise.
And that is why he's Chris and I'm not. Obviously we're shooting for it around that time. Maybe then, maybe later. Might be earlier. I don't know. Okay. We had a Star Marine test today that went pretty well. We did a cross studio play test, but we'll see.
All right. Well, yeah, there you are, whetting everybody's appetite with that.
Well, you hear that like game developers are testing some really early version of the game, and like, I wish I could get into that. No, you don't. It's not the same thing as getting to play a video game at lunch, unfortunately.
It's QA testing. It's hard. Yeah. Talk to the QA testers. They'll tell you it's not all fun and games. What is
it just
this cat today?
I'm nuts today.
It's crazy. Oh my god. All right, we gotta get you off the call in a couple of seconds. I just wanted to ask a couple more questions, but I'm getting thrown off. And there was another when do you think we're going to be able to see things like the Merlin being mated into the constellation for us to fly? Is it something that's happening in the near future or distant future?
Near future. I think there's a couple different parts that the docking there requires. That needs some items 2.0 stuff. Needs just item stuff. But yeah, not too distant future.
All right, and my big question, which I saved for last, in-game purchases. In-game purchases of ships and our wreck items. Is that something that we'll see at some point in the near future also?
Yes. I'm not sure which patch they're going to go in on, but I know we've been busy pricing out all the ships and how they work in the game universe, and everybody should see all that pretty soon.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That would be great. So we'll be able to use wreck in the Port Olisar or one of the others?
It's not wreck, it'll be Alpha UEC there.
Alpha UEC, okay. I have so much wreck, I don't know what to do with it. That's why I'm asking. I want to be able to do something with it. And last question for me will be, I've seen it before and I still see it there, but Dumpster Depot, even the one that's going to be up in Port Olisar, what exactly are you going to be able to buy there? And will I be able to sell the things I find out in space at some point?
What is Dumpster Depot?
Look like parts.
I feel like it's ship components, but I'm going to check our right now and make sure.
So that
should know this. I absolutely should know this. Okay. That's just like a trade. Yes, exactly. It's where you would take stuff you salvage.
All right. That's where you would take stuff you salvage, and you could buy like parts from other ships?
Yeah, I think it's more of like an exchange sort of a thing.
All right. That's pretty cool. And of course, that was the last question. Now for just a general thought. I've been flying around Yella, and I'm finding a lot of Big Benny's food boxes. Have you been losing a lot of your delivery agents?
They seem to lean hard on the Big Bennies right now.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Ben, thank you. You got to get your other call in now. I really appreciate.
I've got 10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes? All right, let's see if we get 10 more. No, see, if we were live, we could do this. You know what, folks? I think we're going to move this to a live show at some point so we can get more questions in for Ben.
But then you wouldn't be able to edit out the cat button.
I don't know. I think the cat makes the show sometimes. People are always talking about the cat. And she is nuts today. I made some plantain crusted chicken breast with a chili apricot jelly type sauce on it and asparagus, and she wound up eating off of my plate the chicken. So I think she's going nuts from the spice that I had on it.
Don't spice your cat.
Yeah, I know that my group will say that I should be having Renegade Shank's homemade space paste. Yes, I said space paste. Whether you're in a jam in the middle of the deep of space with a hole in your hull, which you can use the paste as an agent to seal that hole, or you're starting to starve, yes, you could eat the paste. It comes in many different flavors, and the best flavor is bacon, made from the hides of dead Vandal.
That was a really good advertisement. Is this like when radio DJs are talking and they're like, and I went to whatever local restaurant yesterday, and I thought it was the best one.
No, there's been this. There's an ongoing inside joke on the starcitizenaa anonymous thread.
Anonymous.
Inside of the subscribers den, where every time a new sale comes up, we all talk about having to eat Shank's paste because we're spending all our money on chips. You know, it's better than ramen noodles, better than macaroni and cheese. Yes, it's Renegade Shank's homemade paste, and he makes it.
Hey, there is nothing better than macaroni and cheese in this world.
You haven't had Shank's paste. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I hope you get a trip out of this, folks. Yeah, kind of funny. You know, I'm going to ask you one more question just because I flew it the other day.
Right.
You've got some entry-level exploration ships, like the Aurora LX, which was called an Explorer, but I don't know how that's going to work in an Aurora, and the Mustang Beta. What types of missions are those two ships actually going to be able to do, whether it be in 3.0 and beyond or the PU when it goes live?
We're probably not going to be 3.0 specifically, but I would see any of the Explorer-focused earlier ships as sort of improved scanners and longer duration. You know, maybe their jump engines jump more time, or they have more jump fuel.
Well, what are they looking for? Are they looking for, like, mining nodes? Or are they looking for anomalies? Or are they looking for jump holes? What is it?
Well, that's up to you. Whether you're looking for jump points, and then once you transition through a jump point, you know, locating a jump point, navigating the jump point, and then finding out what's on the other side. You know, here's a planet, you know, but then what's on that planet? What resources can it provide? Where are these resources specifically? You know, Star System is a giant thing, and charting one out is a massive undertaking.
So with Manchester getting the Carrack, has it beefed up? They make everything bigger.
Surprisingly, no. I'll say, because I was on a thread about the launch, not the Ursa but the Pisces, and they wanted to keep it small because they didn't want to make the ship bigger. So,
all right, that's fine.
Maybe they're learning.
That
was a weird cat attack.
Yeah, the cat
didn't quite make it all the way up.
She didn't make it all the way up. It must be the spice. No Dune comments. All right, that's it for us, Ben. Thank you so much. I will talk to you again next week. For all you guys going to DragonCon, have fun. I am taking the time off. Yeah, I'm taking the time off so I can go to CitizenCon. But next Saturday, if you're interested, we're going to try to have a Bar Citizen over at Sidebar in Atlanta. If you want to know how to get there, please send an email to starcitizenaa@gmail.com. The same exact address you should be sending your questions for Ben's Day. Thanks, everyone. Ben, thank you.
You got anger tail going on right now.
Oh, God, she just wants to be pet. Watch. That's all she wants. It's like all about her. She's a little princess. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.